Hello and welcome back to The Drag Detective. I'm Derek, and today we are going to do something a little bit different because in the last video, I sent out a poll where you could choose your favorite design looks of all time on the show. You guys voted 3,000 votes, which I think is a pretty good sample size. And based on those votes, I have the top 25 design looks of all time across all franchises of Drag Race. Now, there's not really much else to talk about before just diving into the list, but I will plug, obviously, the Rigged Recap, my podcast with Kayla Says. We just did an episode with Runner Eye. If you saw any of the clips on social media, it was very chaotic.
I had an obsession with heroin for a while. But not like I didn't try it, but
I'm sorry.
So go listen to that if you want to. We also have one for UK versus the World with me and Black Boy. And also, if you are someone who watched Drag Duel, I know not everyone here watched Drag Duel, but for those of you who did, we are running an Indiegogo for season 2. If you want to see more Drag Duel on your YouTube screens, go check out the Indiegogo. We're about 25% done. So now's the time to really let's start getting this thing going. I would love to do a season 2. Bootsy would love to do a season 2, but we need your help in order to make that happen. So if you have any interest in helping or sharing, the link will be down below for the Indiegogo campaign. Now, before we get to the top 25, I wanted to list one of my, I guess we'll call it an honorable mention. It's one of my favorite design looks of all time that did not make the list. And again, I had nothing to do with this list. This is based on your votes, which we will talk about. But the look that I wanted to talk about is Yuri Guy from Drag Race Down Under 2. This was the first challenge of the season, and they had to make looks out of a bunch of crap. And this is one of my favorite looks of the season, period. And it's one of my favorite design looks of all time. I'm shocked it didn't make the cut. It really wasn't even close to make the cut for top 25. I think that she used a really difficult material. I think that she did a really interesting silhouette. I think that it's just so futuristic and experimental, which is what we would expect from a Yuri Guy look. But it's just so stunning. I love the hair. I love the makeup. And I think this is an underrated look. So I wanted to shout it out before we got to the actual list. But now let's dive into it, starting with number 25. The 25th best design look as voted by you is from season 11. It's from the Farm to Runway challenge. And the queen is, if you guessed it, Evie Oddly, who this is another one of those episodes where I think people remember Evie winning because this look is so good, but she didn't. Plastique Tiara actually won, and her look definitely was up there in votes, but it was not enough to make the top 25. This look got exactly 247 votes to be on this list. So everything else here on up, we're going 250 and above, basically. So this look, it's one of my favorites. I think she should have won this challenge, obviously, which I said all the way back when I did the riggery of season 11. But also, I'm just an Evie Oddly stan, one of my top 10 queens from the show ever. And this was so different for her. She'd shown so many that kind of crafty weirdo energy, and this was still crafty because they were using random farm materials, but it was so much more glamorous than anything we'd seen prior from her. And I think it really showed a different side of Evie that we kind of needed at this halfway point. I think the color combination is incredible. Knowing that it's made out of all of these floral pieces is, it's one of my favorite looks that she's worn and one of my favorite design challenge looks. So I'm glad that it made the list at number 25. At number 24, we have a very recent look, and I will say, I think there's recency bias in this list, down. I would say more than half of the looks are all from the last 2 years. Maybe. So recency bias for sure. But this look was just on UK5, and it is Banksy's Pet Shop Couture look. So they were given a bunch of random pet supplies, and Banksy made this. It is so stunning. It's giving editorial. It looks like she brought it from home. And even if she brought it from home, it would have been one of the best looks of the season. This look is just so interesting. It's different from what she's shown in other runways on the season. She's usually very naked, very kind of boudoir kind of energy. And this is high fashion runway tees. So I love this look. I love Banksy. I'm so glad she won in this look, and I'm not shocked that it is in the top 25. Number 24, 260 votes, just 2 above Banksy. We have someone from Canada's Drag Race Season 4, one of the best designers we've ever seen on any Drag Race franchise. It is Kiki Ko's Out of the Closet look. So this challenge is kind of different than other design challenges because they're given a whole closet worth of Brad Goreski's clothes, and they have to deconstruct those clothes and make it into a different garment. So the fact that she had this much fabric is like very, very lucky because people were working with like scraps basically. The fact that she made this stunning gown with these like structural pieces, it's giving, I brought this from home as well. Most of the looks on this list look like they came from home. Like they don't look like they made them in a day. And especially this one, but knowing that she made all of her package, so many things for like Isis and other queens who have been on Canada's Drag Race, her work speaks for itself. An incredible designer, incredible seamstress, and 1000% deserved. Now at number 22, we have a look that I feel like used to be super hyped. Like this is like, I think if you asked like 5 years ago, this would be like in probably the top 5 of this list, but I feel like over time, it's just gotten less and less love. I think it's gotten more and more forgotten. And that is Shea Coulee's Village People look from the season 9 gay ball. So she got the construction worker, one of the least problematic things you could have gotten in that challenge. And she ended up doing this really interesting like train jacket made of all of these flannels. She really took like the costume that you would expect a construction worker to wear and then deconstructed it and like switched it all around. Like there's still all the pieces you would expect, but they're just not how you would expect them to look. And I absolutely love this look. I loved it then. I loved it now. I don't think Shea has ever delivered a non-iconic design challenge look that I can remember. She is an amazing seamstress. She just has like that eye for fashion, and she can take something like wife beater and some flannels and turn it into this with little details like the collar and the turban. Like there's so many things that elevate this to more than just a wife beater and flannel, and that's why it definitely deserved to make this list. At number 21, with 293 votes, we're almost in the 300 range, we have Naomi Smalls with the book ball look. So they had to make this look completely out of paper. This look is so good that RuPaul literally stole the silhouette for the next season's promo, the season 9 promo. This is just like, the fact that it's made out of paper, I can't even imagine how long this took. She must have had to be, all of them had to be so careful when making them and wearing them. And I'm sure that this thing didn't last more than like 3 days total without being like completely destroyed, which sucks because it should be sitting in a museum somewhere. But instead it is probably in like the compost somewhere. But yes, this is not the last look that Naomi made that will make this list, but it's definitely one of the most iconic. Now we are in our top 20, and we have one of my favorite looks with 311 votes, Scarlet Envy's Blue Ball Bonanza gown. The fact that she was safe for this is still, I think, one of the biggest robberies and riggeries, and one that's mentioned a lot in Drag Race history. It looks so stunning. It looks like she could be walking a runway. The way that she has this structured shoulder and the mermaid gown, the fabric, the hair, like everything about this head to toe is just giving like glamour. And I'm surprised this wasn't actually a little bit higher, because this just seems like one of those looks that are constantly mentioned when you ask people like, oh, what's your favorite design look? But it still cracked the top 20. And her riggery from this episode is probably going to be talked about for years to come still. So with 10 more votes, 321 votes, we have our first kind of like older season look. I guess Naomi, season 8 is probably considered old now, but we're going even before then. We're going to the Candy Ball on season 5, and we have Roxy's look in the third category, where they were given a bunch of candy and candy-like materials, and they had to make a look out of it. And she made a look out of licorice. Is this real? Unclear. I feel like you couldn't use real licorice because, like, I feel like the heat of the body would, like, melt it or, like, make it more, like, not flimsy, but, like, breakable. Like, I feel like it would just start, like, coming off in chunks. So I don't know if this is just a material that resembles licorice or what, but we've really never seen a look like this since. I think it's hard to, like, get a material that works like this, but she took such a good material and turned it into an amazing look. The way it just like in motion looks like it's like astonishing. And you know, like Roxy had already won challenges previously for design looks on the season, but this one I think reigns supreme. She didn't win the challenge, but it's one of my favorite looks, and apparently it's one of your guys' too. At number 18, we have another one of the most rigged, robbed design looks of all time that people still reference, still talk about as like, how did this queen not win? How was this look just safe? And it is Mo Hart in the premiere of season 10, the Drag on a Dime challenge, where she took a bunch of playing cards and sun hats and made this, which is like, it blows my mind. People have like recreated and like taken inspiration from this look to make ones of their own. It is like unlike anything we've ever seen someone do prior or future. This is top tier. And using such a hard material like cards, which are just like flimsy, you know what I mean? Like, I cannot believe she did this look, but the hair even is made out of like that material. It is so stunning. I'm still mad she was not in the top, but at least we can remember it's still 6 years later. At number 17, with 1 vote more than Mo Hart, we have Jada Essence Hall in the Fortune Ball. Now, this is not the last look from this episode that we're gonna see. They got materials based off of different locations, I think it was, and she took all of this black fabric and just made this like, so it almost looks like a Lady Gaga tour look. It looks like something like a pop star would wear on tour. It's very like geometric and structural, but then has all of these kind of materials like mixed together, so your eye doesn't know where to go, but it still doesn't feel busy. And she paired it with this stunning hair. It is like, we've seen Jada do a lot of looks. This one is the most, I think, difficult to pull off, and I feel like she did it in spades. This look is so good, and one of my favorite Jada Essence Hall looks. At number 16, we have another Naomi Smalls look. This time, it is the winning look from the Wizard of Oz Makeover Challenge on season 8. They had to make 2 looks, one for them and one for their makeover partner, which is so hard, based off of a character that they were given from Wizard of Oz. So obviously she got the Scarecrow, and she, I think, took what could have been a very just like drab kind of like whatever look. Like, you're using like what, straw and burlap and like some flannels. Like, that's not very chic when you just look at it in a pile on the floor. But she was able to like elevate it to such a like fashion level that you wouldn't even like think about what it was made out of, because it just looks expensive. It looks well made. Not that it was just, you know, a bunch of like ugly materials that, to begin with. And the way that she mixed fabrics and paired things together, she has such an eye for fashion, and I think this look 1000% encapsulates that. At number 15, with 1 vote more than Naomi's look, we have another season 5 look. This time it is Linacia Sparks in the garbage challenge. They had to like go through garbage bins, like dumpsters, to find things to use, and this look is made out of wallpaper, which like you can tell that it's more like structured of a material. It's not as like flowy as like a regular fabric would be, but it is literally so stunning. There's so many weird choices, like the shoe on her head and the way that she has like the arm open. Like, there's so many weird things going on in this that on paper, I don't know if it works, but she was able to make it come together into this stunning look that did not win the challenge. And I think this is another one that people kind of forget didn't win. Roxy actually won the episode. And I think all these years later, we're still saying that Linacia probably should have won this. And I think that shows, because Roxy's look is nowhere even near this in the vote, and hers is at number 15. At number 14, we have Trinity the Tuck look from All-Star 7, the legendary Legend look. So they were given a classic RuPaul look, and they had to recreate it in their own way, in their own vision. And she got this like really cute like aqua blue RuPaul look, and was able to make one of the like most incredible things I've ever seen. This looks like a finale gown. Like, if someone wore this as their finale look, I think we would all be like, slay, like, nice job. Like, the fact that she made this in one day with all of the stress and stuff, like, it's just like insane to me. Trinity is one of the best designers and seamstresses on this show. She's won multiple of these challenges. She won this challenge, and she always does something different. Like, none of her design looks really look all that similar. And I think that's just a testament to like all of those crazy ideas up there in her head. Like, thinking about how she recreated all of the winners looks on her Instagram a while back. Like that's basically what she did here with, you know, taking a classic RuPaul look and just kind of filtering it through her brain and popping this out. So love this look, love the color. So glad she won this challenge and so glad she's as high as she is with it. At number 13 with 363 votes, we have Isis Couture's Haute Check look. Now, this is kind of like similar to the Brad Goreski challenge where they were given like a bunch of like random clothes that were like left at the bar and you have to turn them into an iconic look. So there was a bunch of materials and clothes and things. So she used a lot of these like tickets, I think they are, and made this stunning look. It's asymmetrical, it's weird, but that is exactly what we love about Isis Couture. I feel like what she does, what she creates, nobody else could do. Like, no one would think to do the things that she does. And I feel like this look is completely showing that. This is not even her last look on this list. Isis has like, she's so far beyond what most queens can do or even come up with. And she really is like, she's like a deity. You know what I mean? Like, she's not real. I love her. I love this look. At number 12 with 370 votes, we have a very, very recent look. We have Q's dollhouse look. So they were given a doll and they had to make a matching look for them and the doll that they could like sell as like a brand for them. Like, here's what I would wear if I was like given a little Barbie doll. And this look is just so, it's so intricate. Like, I feel like every time I look at this look, I can like notice something different. It's such a weird color palette too, this like copper, almost like fall, like nighttime and fall vibes. And you would think for like a doll, you would want to go like big and flashy, like bright colors and things like that. But this still completely worked. Like, it looked like it was like the like space age dark like edition of her doll. Like, it was so interesting and no one else did anything like this on that runway. And this is the look that got her first win after literally like foaming at the mouth for it for the last like 4 weeks. So I'm surprised this look is as high as it is, but I do think that like it's like in everyone's collective consciousness at the moment, so it makes sense that people would like pick it, which people got to pick 5 looks. So everyone who took the poll picked their 5 favorite looks and they all like got like a point. So that's how the poll worked. So it makes sense that something like this recently would be picked a lot by people. At number 12, we have a very old look, all the way back in season 3. We have the winner of that season, Raja's Moneyball look. So this look, they had to use literal just fake Monopoly dollars to make a look. They had like coins and stuff like that, but the construction of this, the way that she used the different colors to like, it's like a story, you know what I mean? Like, your eyes like follow the story of the look as it goes down. It looks so expensive, so rich, and it was using one of the hardest materials. Like this with like the book ball, like that paper is so hard to work with. It tears so easily. All it takes is like one thing to go wrong and you have to start over like an entire section. So this is like beyond to me. I'm not shocked that after like 12 years or whatever, it's still one of the top design looks of all time. It's fucking Raja. You know what I mean? And now we enter our top 10 with a look that's literally like 2 weeks old. We have Marina Summers' Drag to Riches look on UK versus the World 2. I'm not even gonna say recency bias for this. This is a top 10 design look, period. If it came out a decade ago or yesterday, like, it would make the list. The fact that this is the first dress she ever made, she's never sewn a gown before, and she was able to make this, like, I don't know if I believe that. Like, how could you go from 0 to this? Like, I cannot comprehend that. It is so fitted to her body. The shape is right. The materials are right. Like, everything about this look is giving winner. It's giving Filipino winner. And I am just like still in awe of this look. It's giving kind of like the Scarlet Envy Blue Ball, where it's just giving like effortless beauty that you can't believe it was made in a single day. Okay, at number 9, we have one that I would probably put in my like top 3, top 4. We have Trinity the Tuck in the Fortune Realness Ball, where she had this like latex vinyl kind of material and she was able to make this. One, how did she have that wig? Just like chilling here. It's like, I might need this for something. Let me take a red wig that is like 30 units sewn together. She like was able to make, this is a character, you know what I mean? Like, this is not just a look. This is a head to toe person, like character. I know who this bitch is. She's the supervillain who doesn't have to fight because she pays her henchmen to do it for her. But then at the end of the movie, she's like, ugh, you beat the henchmen, fine, let me scrap. And this is what I mean, like Trinity's actually really good at like bringing a character to life, but whether it be in like a challenge or in a look. And this is like completely evident of that. I think it's insane that she was able to make it so fitted. Like latex is not easy. You know what I mean? Like it's not a forgiving material. So for it to fit her like a glove shows like the true talent that she has with designing and sewing. At number 8 with 512 votes, we're really starting to jump up there. All of these looks like in the top like that we're at now all kind of like jump a lot for the most part. We have an Isis Couture look from Canada versus the World. It is her Caught in the Rain couture look. She wanted to talk about like pollution and like what we're doing to our waters, and she's this like murky sea creature like who's kind of beautiful at the same time. Like it is so insane, like her mind. I think the color palette is so fun. It's sloppy, but like on purpose. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she just threw it together. It looks a little bit disheveled, but when you really look at it, you can tell that everything is there for a reason. And again, like this is a character. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know who this is. And the fact that she was only safe for this is honestly very crazy to me. At number 7, with only 3 votes more than the Isis look, we have Violet Chachki's Hello Kitty Couture from season 7. And it sucks that there weren't more sewing challenges on season 7. I think we would have had more, better performances from probably half the cast, and especially Violet. Like I wish we got to see Violet design more things on season 7, because like using like this steering wheel thing as like a headpiece, it's something I've never seen before. I've never seen it done since. And it was such like a tacky kind of challenge. Like you have it's very unforgiving in like how you go from Violet to like Ginger or like Kennedy, where it's like they just look like they're throwing a bunch of stuff on, as Pearl called out. And I think that Violet found that like perfect balance of like somewhere in between too little and too much. Like it's like the perfect amount of stuff is there. And the shape is so fun. Everything about this, I think, hit the nail on the head for this challenge. And it makes sense why it's like this high up. At number 6, with 566 votes, we have Raja in the Fortune Realness Ball. So this is another look from that episode. I think it's the 3rd one at this point. And she has to do this gold look. So she uses this like lame, this like huge structured shoulder moment. She does something completely unexpected. I would not think that Raja would put something like this together. She's more known for her like sleek looks. But this like Raja 2.0, obviously she ate the season up. She demolished. And this look was just like everything. It was like a culmination of all of her talent that we saw on season 3, but everything had been just like elevated to like an even higher level. And this is like the best like season for design looks, because so many of the queens there are incredible seamstresses, and Raja was one of the best for sure. We're at our top 5 now, and with like an almost 100-point jump, with 678 points, we have Luxe Noir London on season 15. They had the challenge where they were put into little fashion houses, and they had to do looks based off of Michelle and Carson and Ross. So she was in the Michelle group, which had a lot of like lavish prints and then the tacky animal prints. And Luxe was able to take this zebra print that, in some cases could be seen as pretty tacky. A lot of the looks that were in this group were pretty tacky. She was able to take it and make it feel so elevated and regal with this like royal purple and the turban and the gold accoutrements that she added to it. So this look, the second I saw it, I was like, oh, she won. She won the challenge. And might have been spoiled in that season anyway. But like the second I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, winner, chicken dinner. She ate. I'm not shocked this is top 5. I mean, I get that this is like recent, but like I feel like in 10 years we'll still be saying this is one of the best looks. Amazingly constructed pants. Come on. And it's really her styling choices that I think elevate this even further. So like incredible look from Luxe Noir London. At number 4, and we jump another 100, and this one I think I'm going to attribute to recency bias and her being an entire, like a humongous fan favorite, but we have Anitra's crystallized look. Now listen, I think this look is amazing. I think it deserves to be in the top 25, but number 4, I don't think with 746 points, it's good. I would put it like outside of the top 10, I think. Obviously this like spine that she created is so stunning. The fabric is so stunning, but sometimes I think that the fabric can do the heavy lifting. I think about this Jada Essence Hall look. The fabric is doing all of the heavy lifting. There is nothing special about this gown except for what it's made out of. But she won and people went crazy for this look. I kind of feel the same way about this to a lesser extent. Obviously the things that she did, like the wig that she paired it with and the spine going down the back. Like she definitely did more to like amplify the look, but this fabric alone like is so stunning. She could have done nothing else to it and it still would have been like high. So like I like this look a lot. I don't think it deserves to be this high. Maybe I'm wrong. And now we have our top 3, and like these are like so far above. This number 3 has 972 votes, and this one is one I'm not shocked is this high at all. It is from the UK, and it is Ahura with her Super Shiro look. It's this like frilled lizard when she like, I'll put the gif in where she like I don't know how she did that. I don't know how she was able to like use this material, which seems like it's very hard to work with, and create such a stunning look. Like this looks like something she got from like a super like high up designer to bring to the show. The fact that she made this, the fact that she did like the half blue face to like get back at Sister for stealing her like chips look from the episode prior. Like everything about this look is elevation, perfection, and mind-blowing, to be honest. Like Ahura is one of my favorites from the UK franchise. And this was like, I think her magnum opus. Like this was like towards the end of the season, she'd gotten a win, but she really has been flirting with like the bottom. Like she was just in the bottom 3. Like I kind of saw the writing on the wall that maybe she wouldn't be a finalist, but this look was everything. And there was no denying that she was the winner of this challenge. And she created one of the best design looks of all time, a top 3 design look of all time, which I do agree with. Number 2, is there recency bias? Potentially, with 1,780 votes. I mean, the jump is insane. It was like 61% of people chose this as their look. It is Nymphia Wynn in the Call Me Mother Father look. She had to make a look out of menswear, and she made this. It still blows my mind. I don't know how she did this with like the ties. I know there's like what's the spray that you can use to like make the starch? Like you can like spray it on things and it'll make it like erect. There's so many reasons why this look shouldn't work. There's so much going on. The colors are like crazy. This like beige with like the yellow, like it's insane. But she has such a good eye for fashion that everything works. I wouldn't remove something. I wouldn't put something on. It is perfection. Would not change a thing. And this is what put Nymphia like, not on the map, but like in the first episode, a lot of people thought she was robbed of being, you know, in the top for the talent show. And this solidified her as like, oh, she's winning the season. Like she's winning the entire season with this look. And it's kind of unfortunate that it happened so soon because I don't think she has or will be able to top this performance for the whole rest of the season. We're about halfway through when I'm recording this. And she has not been able to like create something in the challenges or on the runway that has met this level of insanity. So incredible job. I definitely could see it top 5. Like top 2 is pushing it maybe, but like it's hard to say like what would be better than this. So I'm okay with this at number 2. And our number 1 look of all time, the best design look, I'm not shocked. It has 1,843 votes, which was like 66 or something percent of the people voting chose this in their top 5. It is Utica's Bad Ball. This look kind of took on a life of its own because like I sometimes feel like the legacy is almost bigger than the look itself. Like it is an incredible look. It's made out of sleeping bags with these weirdo prints that should be clashing and be like, oh my gosh, assault to the eyes. But she like strategically put things in places where like it flows really well despite the patterns being so clashing. Now famously she did not win this challenge and Gottmik won wearing this. But I think this kind of sold Utica to the audience, and I think got her where she is now, where like she's doing her own drag, but she's also doing like almost like art installations for other queens, like making these iconic, like huge, mind-blowing looks. And I feel like this look is what made people realize, oh, she is a designer. Like, if I want something like big brain, I'm gonna go to Utica. And that's what she's been doing since season 13. And I think this is the look that set those things into motion. It's probably a million degrees in that thing, but it is so stunning, her mind, and it is, as voted by you, the #1 design look of all time. And I was trying to think, what would I put at #1? And honestly, I think the top 3 is correct. Like, Nymphia, maybe I need some time to like get over the like, it's still pretty recent, but this top 3 does feel warranted. And I don't think that there's riggery afoot in your voting. But I want to know, what do you think? Do you think the vote was whack? Do you agree with everything? Is there a look that you think should have been on this list that wasn't? Is there a look that did make the list that you think should not be on the list? Comment below all of your thoughts. And specifically what you think the #1 design look of all time is. This is kind of like perfect timing because we have a design look coming in just a couple days on Drag Race yet again, the like neo-goth design challenge, the 3rd one on season 16, which I love a design challenge, so I'm not complaining. And I love gothic fashion, so I'm not complaining ×2. I'm very excited for that challenge. Maybe one of those looks will bump one of the 25 off of this list once it comes out, but we'll have to see how the queens do. Very, very nervous for my girl Plasma. So we're doing a prayer circle that Plasma comes out of next week alive. But other than that, that is all I have for you today. Thank you to everyone who voted. If you want to do stuff like this again, we could do it with like verses, like girl group verses or things like that. So let me know if you would want to do this again with something else from Drag Race. But the links to all of my social medias are in the description below, as well as the rigged recap, as well as the Indiegogo campaign. And I want to thank all of you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please do, so we can get to 75K and I can get into full drag to celebrate. And I think that is everything. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.